Have you ever found yourself completely drowning in a massive literature review, or maybe trying to manage a really long-running technical project? Yeah, you know the struggle. You take notes, you save PDFs, you highlight text, but eventually you just end up with this huge, disconnected pile of information. It's a massive frustration for developers, AI engineers, graduate researchers, really anyone doing deep work. Well, today we're going to fix that. We're looking at a system called the Karpathy LLM Wiki Research Architecture. And honestly, it's going to completely change how you manage your data.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover moving beyond traditional RAG, the three-layer architecture, setting up your system, the daily research loop, and finally, how to compound your knowledge over time.
Part 1. Beyond traditional RAG, the limits of retrieval.
So, if you've been working with AI document retrieval lately, you've probably hit a wall. Why does AI research so often feel completely disconnected? Well, think about how traditional RAG actually works. It's kind of like trying to build a house, right? But every single time you want to build a new thought or answer a question, the system basically forces you to run back out into the yard, frantically search for scattered individual bricks, and try to mortar them together right there on the spot. It's just exhausting. And worse, you completely lose the big picture.
And there is a really stark contrast here. Traditional RAG repeatedly retrieves raw document chunks for every single question. It literally forces the AI to reconstruct the context from scratch every single time. But the Karpathy LLM Wiki pattern, it takes a totally different approach. Instead of just searching blindly, it compiles your sources into a maintained linked markdown base that actually evolves as you add material to it. So your queries are operating over synthesized knowledge, not just raw chunks. It's honestly a fundamental shift in how we handle data.
All right, let's move to Section 2, the three-layer architecture, a powerful foundation.
To actually solve this problem, we rely on a really clever three-layer architecture. First up, we have Claude, which handles the heavy lifting, reasoning, synthesis, and writing. Second, we use Obsidian. That acts as your permanent local markdown knowledge base. But the true magic, the real game changer here, is the third layer, the Karpathy LLM Wiki plugin. This acts as the ultimate compiler. It continuously takes your notes and weaves them into an interconnected wiki instead of just falling back on traditional RAG retrieval. This trifecta right here is what powers the entire paradigm shift.
Moving right along to Section 3, setting up your system, a practical walkthrough.
So how do we actually put this into practice? It's surprisingly simple. Here's your core installation flow. Step 1, just install Obsidian. Step 2, install the Karpathy LLM Wiki Community plugin. You grab that directly from the Obsidian Community Hub. And Step 3, start using Claude. You can use the web version, the desktop app, or even Claude Code if you prefer the terminal. And that's it. That is your accessible, fully actionable baseline setup. Just 3 simple steps, and you've got the foundation for a massively powerful research engine. Now, if you really want to scale things up, there are some awesome optional power-ups. You can add Git for version control, or Llama if you want to run models locally. If you're in academia, it perfectly supports Zotero paired with better BibTeX, plus the PDF Plus Obsidian plugin. Oh, and for organizing and visualizing all that data, you can layer in DataView and Excalidraw. The whole system is basically designed to grow exactly as your own research needs grow. Next up, Section 4, the daily research loop in action. Okay, so what actually happens when you save a new paper into this system? This is where it gets incredibly exciting. Instead of just dumping a single flat text note into some forgotten folder, the plugin instantly goes to work. It automatically creates concept pages. It generates people pages for the authors. It builds backlinks, writes summaries, sets up aliases, and establishes relationships between all your data points. I mean, it is doing an absolutely staggering amount of automated structural work for you entirely in the background. And because your knowledge is now actually synthesized, you can leverage some really powerful daily prompts. For example, you can run a prompt for a comprehensive literature review. You can tell it to build a concept page to consolidate scattered ideas. You can run a research gap finder to see exactly what's missing in the current literature, or even switch into thesis mode for high-level writing. You're pulling from a rich, interconnected wiki now. You're completely past the days of just doing basic keyword searches. Finally, Section 5, compounding knowledge over time. The true power of this entire architecture is captured in this one core idea. Knowledge compounds over time because new sources update existing concept pages rather than remaining isolated summaries. Remember our house analogy from earlier? Traditional RAG was just you searching for scattered bricks. But the Karpathy LLM Wiki means you are building a fully maintained house.
Every single time you add a new paper, the knowledge base progressively enriches itself. It updates the core concepts. It doesn't just toss another isolated file onto the pile. And that is exactly why it scales so beautifully for serious graduate research and AI engineering. It's all about that compounding effect.
And to truly lock in this workflow, there's one final, highly recommended step to supercharge the whole process. Create a dedicated Claude project. By setting up a specific workspace with dedicated project knowledge and highly tailored custom instructions, you ensure that the AI interacts seamlessly with your Obsidian base. It lets you fully leverage all that synthesized knowledge you've spent your valuable time compiling.
Overall, it's just a brilliant shift from simple document retrieval to actual, true knowledge synthesis. So I want to leave you with this one thought. What could you discover if your research finally started compounding? If you weren't starting from scratch every single time, but instead building on an ever-revolving, interconnected web of ideas? Well, this setup gives you the exact tools to do that. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and have fun building out your new research architecture.